I am Santiago del Carmen Maria, the Queen of Crowning Thoughts.
Trump's brutal assault, America's hidden genocide unmasked. Let's cut through the noise and face the ugly truth head-on. Donald Trump is unleashing a calculated reign of terror on American soil, targeting civilians with ruthless efficiency while the very institutions meant to protect us stand by with arms folded. This isn't some distant war. It's happening right here in our neighborhoods, schools, and streets. Police officers, once hailed as heroes, are now complicit enablers. The National Guard, sworn to defend the nation, is being twisted into a tool of oppression. And the entire system. It's rigged to shield the powerful while crushing the rest of us. If you're wondering how we got here, let's break it down step by step, with the cold, hard facts that no amount of spin can erase. This is a story of escalation, betrayal, and outright genocide disguised as law and order. And it's time we call it what it is. It all started under the guise of removing criminals. But make no mistake, that was just the opening act in a horrifying drama. When Trump took office in 2025, he promised the largest deportation program in history, ramping up immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, operations to unprecedented levels. What began as targeted raids on alleged criminals quickly spiraled into widespread abuse of innocent immigrants. Federal agents, often in unmarked vehicles and without warrants, stormed communities, tackling people to the ground, using chokeholds and detaining families without due process. In cities like Chicago and Portland, these hyper-militarized operations turned everyday places into battlegrounds. Imagine parents dropping kids off at school, only to face ICE agents lurking nearby, ignoring long-standing rules against raids in sensitive areas like schools and churches. This wasn't about safety. It was about instilling fear, breaking families apart, and testing how far the administration could push without backlash. But it didn't stop with immigrants. As protests erupted against these brutal tactics, the terror expanded to anyone daring to speak out, American citizens included. Peaceful demonstrators, rallying for human rights and immigrant protections, found themselves facing violence from the very forces supposed to uphold the law. In Minneapolis and Portland, ICE agents opened fire on activists, including the cold-blooded killing of Renee Nicole Good, a U.S. citizen acting as a legal observer during a raid. Videos captured the horror, agents approaching her vehicle and unleashing gunfire, despite clear evidence she posed no threat. Nationwide rallies followed, with thousands condemning these shootings as state-sanctioned murder. And what about the protesters hit by cars in apparent ramming attacks, or the confrontations where police clashed with crowds, turning peaceful assemblies into chaos? This escalation from abusing immigrants to silencing all dissent shows the true intent, a power grab that labels any opposition as criminal to justify the crackdown. Now, picture this betrayal. The same police we cheered for defending the Capitol on January 6, 2021, have turned their backs on us. Why? Because they're following orders from the man who incited that insurrection, Trump himself. Officers are now entangled in federal immigration enforcement, sharing databases and aiding raids that tear communities apart. In Los Angeles, when protests against ICE sweeps grew too loud, Trump deployed the National Guard without local approval, militarizing the streets to intimidate and suppress. Arms crossed, they allowed the terror to unfold, prioritizing obedience to a corrupt leader over protecting the people. This isn't loyalty, it's complicity in a system that values power over justice. We've seen it in the rising deaths. 2025 marked the deadliest year in ICE custody in decades, with over 30 people dying from neglect, violence, and overcrowding in detention centers holding nearly 60,000 souls. Families separated, children traumatized, lives ended, all while the Guard and police stand idle. And the gaslighting, it's relentless and insidious. The administration denies the atrocities we've all witnessed. They claim attacks never happened, that deaths are fabrications, and that ICE agents are merely defending themselves. But we saw the videos of unmarked vans snatching people off streets, the brutal arrests near schools, the shootings of unarmed protesters. Trump and his allies spin tales of self-defense and public safety. But the evidence screams otherwise. Unlawful arrests, excessive force, denial of due process, human rights violations piling up in plain sight. They want us to doubt our own eyes, to question the reality unfolding in our streets. This psychological warfare is straight out of a dictator's playbook, eroding trust and sowing division to maintain control. Do you see it now? This is genocide, plain and simple, not hidden in shadows but broadcast under a different label. The Lemkin Institute for Genocide Prevention has issued red flag alerts, warning that Trump's mass deportation operations, coupled with militarized force against Black and brown communities, normalize violence against civilians and signal a genocidal process. It's ethnic cleansing through deportation, detention, and death, targeting immigrants but spilling over to anyone who resists. The administration's rhetoric calling people monsters, savages, and terrorists echoes historical perpetrators of atrocities. They've even deported U.S. citizens by mistake, ignored Supreme Court rulings, and used apps for self-deportation to coerce compliance. National security turned against its own people. The whole system, laws, amendments, institutions, is stacked against us, favoring abusers like Trump while punishing the vulnerable. They tested the waters with immigrants, saw no real consequences, and now it's gone too far, abusing protesters, detaining students for activism, and revoking visas for speaking out. If civilians fight back, arrest, or worse, summary execution on the spot. But when the elite break laws, they're protected. This double standard exposes the lie. Amendments and equal justice are illusions for the masses, tools to pacify while the powerful plunder. After this nightmare ends, remember who the real enemies are. The police who betrayed us, the guard who enabled it, the system that sold us false promises. They can choke on their apologies. We do not forgive. We will never forget. This is our wake-up call. The fight for justice doesn't end with one administration. It's against the corrupt machine that props them up. Stand up, speak out, organize, because silence is surrender. If this message spoke to you, even just a little, stay connected with me by following. Your support truly matters more than you realize, and every moment you take to listen is deeply appreciated. Please leave a like on this video and share your thoughts in the comments after hearing the story. Follow and subscribe so you never miss what comes next. Your support keeps this space alive. It costs nothing, yet it means everything to me. Showing love through engagement helps me continue creating, speaking truth, and showing up consistently. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for reading, for supporting, and for standing with me. Crowning Thoughts, True Speaker, Copyright 2025 by Santiago D.C. Maria, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution. I love you all. I appreciate every one of you, and I thank you for your time. Stay blessed. Love always. Santiago D.C. Maria. Thank you for listening. Love always. Santiago D.C. Maria.